Chapter 16, verse 1. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. One handmaid, not necessarily a slave. Compare 1 Samuel 25:41. Hagar, Hebrew flight. See verse 3. Verse 2. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. No footnotes. Verse 3. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. 10. These 10 years to be taken into account into any calculations. Wife. This was strictly in accordance with the enactment of Hammurabi, number 146, which Abram had brought from Ur. See Appendix 15. Verse 4. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarai said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth. It should be her. See Appendix 31. As it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. Dealt hardly, Hebrew afflicted her. The Code of Hammurabi, number 119, forbade her from being sold. Sarah could only lay tasks on her. See Appendix 15. Verse 7. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. Footnotes: Angel of the Lord, first occurrence, messenger, second person, as being sent, Elohim, as being commissioned by oath. The Lord, Hebrew Jehovah, see Appendix 4. Shur equals wall, the nearest way to her native land. Shur was the name of the great fortified wall, shutting Egypt off from Palestine, with its Migdol, or fort. Verse 8. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. Face equals presence, figure pleonasm, see Appendix 6. Verse 9. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. Verse 10. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, and it shall not be numbered for multitude. Verse 11. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. Verse 12. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Footnotes: against. True today and for over 3,000 years. Compare 21:20, Isaiah 21:13, and these other verses. Presence, face, i.e. on the face of the same country. Brethren, especially with the Midianites, Midian being his half-brother, by Keturah. Compare the fulfillment in 25:18. 13. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? God, Hebrew El, see Appendix 4, said, translate, Do I see, hear, even after the vision? I.e., do I live after seeing God? Looked. Figure metonymy of adjunct, implying living as well as looking. Compare 32:30 and Judges 13:22. 14. Wherefore the well was called Bir Lahai Roy. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. Bir Lahai Roy. Bir Lahai Roy. The well of living after seeing. 15. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. Hagar bare through infirmity of Sarah's faith, so the law, parenthetically, because of transgression, Galatians 3:19. Levitical law given, as Ishmael was until Christ, the antitype of Isaac, should be born. Galatians 4:1-5, 19 and 31. Verse 16. And Abram was 86 old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram.